Welcome to this Zentangle Quickie. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a certified Zentangle teacher. And today we're going to take a look at the tangle Marnie from CZT Chrissie Frampton. Chrissy and I went to the same CZT seminar, number 20. Hi, Chrissy, if you watch this. All right, so this is a neat tangle, and I love the inspiration from for where it came from. If you want to see where it came from, take a look at the description section and find the for more inspiration link, and you will see it. All right, it's a grid pattern, and I really like it because there's a lot of decorating or embellishing options that you can use with this. All right, now the one thing that I noticed at first that I have noticed that I had trouble with at first, let me just be frank, is we have these like overlapping triangles. So, that's what we're going to do in this section. And as I was playing with it, I was like, well, wait a minute, how do I get that? So, what I decided to do, and this worked for me, if you find something else that works for you, do it, is I found, okay, eyeball, what is just over what would be the center? And so I'm going to start here and come down to the corner, turn my tile and do the same thing on the other side. What I was doing was I was going, oh yeah, triangle, okay, and not thinking about it. And then I was like, oh, but wait, I need to make sure that there's an overlap. And how do I do that? And then also to avoid having the wonky triangle, because this part came to me later, was the starting here, is, you know, well, copying what I did here, right? But so I'm eyeballing kind of a straight line so I can start and go to those corners. And then I am more assured to have a not so wonky looking diamond in the center. Okay. The other thing, and you know what? I don't think I did this in my step out. I might have to redo it. um, is I noticed kind of after the fact from the inspiration and from Chrissy's is that you see how we have a smaller side and a larger side, and honestly, it doesn't really matter. So I might just leave it the way it is. And actually, I'm going to do the same thing coming down the center here, starting at the center and going out to both sides. And you don't. I mean, let's see if I can do it without. No, I need to turn. And if you don't know, and that one is a little bit weird, but that's okay. We turn the tile, number one, to keep our hand comfortable, and two, sometimes you just see better. So I'm turning it this way so I can see straight down and eyeball where I'm going to put that next line, and then just working up. And the nice thing, of course, about Zentangle, let me see if I can squeeze two in here, is there are no mistakes. Whatever you end up doing is great. But sometimes it's like, I just want to ensure that I'm happy with it. And great, I am. And this is essentially it. The rest of Chrissy's step out shows different variations that you could do with this. And I think I will. Let's do one here. Well, actually, I'm just going to make one up as I go. I kind of like the idea, of filling in this, and then I'll show you this in a grid pattern as well. But I like filling in that, and then also, let's see if I do this. Now, had I left that and then just started alternating them, I could adjust this one. It's all right. Let's just do it. So I'm going to fill in every other one. Ooh. Wait. But wait, here's an idea. Luckily, I just... yeah, let's do it. Okay. I'm talking to myself. Or I could say I'm having a conversation with the pen. Since I have that right there, this is fun. And then I can kind of adjust that side a little bit. Oh, here, I'll just do one side at a time. That makes a lot more sense. So the embellishing or decorating is just a lot of fun. And, you know, it's kind of like we create our own coloring book. I use that phrase a lot, and we do. And then for the kind of meditative benefit, we get the best of both worlds because we get the creative part and the mindfulness exercise of doing the pattern. And then I think that for me, because I did the pattern, I don't have as much, I don't find myself getting stuck in the decision issues that I have when I do like a, you know, one of those adult coloring books. Oh, well, I think we should have to do this bottom too. Oh, well. There we go. Because when I get those adult coloring books, it's like, oh, I get all excited, and then it's like, okay, well, what color do I want to put where? And there's just usually too many places to decide, and too many colors to choose from, and then, you know, and then the whole thing of, oh, well, I want it to be perfect, or, you know, something to that effect, and it's just, so I think that's why I like doing this much better, because it's already, you know, we avoid the perfection thing. Ooh, watch this. Here's a trick. Let's see how well it works. I'm using my 05 white. It doesn't necessarily like to work over, there it is, over the black, and especially when the black is wet. But sometimes that's an idea. We'll let it dry a little bit. But there we go. And you know what? Let's have fun with some shading. Let's do this. It actually looks like an envelope to me a little bit. You can decorate all of those spaces. That's what's fun. Is that you don't have to do the part that we did down here. You can do something completely different in there if you wish. You know, and it's one of those, it's completely up to you, and that's what's fun. And that's why I like to call it playtime. That's what I put in my step outs, play. On that last step, because that's what we do. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, let's continue that up over here. Ah, how fun. How fun. All right, so as I mentioned, this is a grid pattern. This is just one box. So if you put it in a smaller grid, then you have all of this space to have fun with. One of the, let's see. Well, before I decide what I'm going to do on those, here's one, kind of an additional fun thing, is you can kind of disguise the grid a bit by putting a bunch of light straight lines. And I go light and try to not push down real heavy, because then if they get a little bit wonky, it's okay. And I kind of just, you know, well, I try to make them straight. Try to have them at even distances. But there is something about, if it's just extra light, it's a little bit more forgiving than, as you can see, than the other lines, which were a lot more deliberate. Ooh, you know, I have a whole different idea now. I'm glad I did this part first. And then I'm just going to turn the tile so that way it makes it a little easier when you can see the line that you're auraing. So that's another reason why we turn the towel. There's some strokes that seemingly there's not really a way around having your pen kind of in the way. But that's okay. And even though these lines are thinner, it's well as I'm finishing this, you can see how that the thicker line in the middle um, kind of disappears. You don't notice it as much, or it just looks like a nice center point. That looks neat, just like that. Oh, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put an orb in and fill in around the outside just because I feel like it. Another fun thing about Zentangle, or at least that I'm experiencing and working to embrace when things come, is the when something pops in your head. Oh, just do it, and like that, and not think about it too much. Just do, because I generally have a problem with randomness or just coming. Oh, well, I don't know what I should do there, as if there's. I mean, I know there's no right or wrong way. Um, oh, that just looks really neat. I think I'm going to leave it at that. Um, in my step out, I did the lines like this on either side, and it really has a neat look. You can take a look at that in my version of the step out, which is in the description section. And let's see. Actually, I'm going to put the graphite on this side. It has a neat effect when you put it like on the inside of this, but I wanted to try something a little bit different, so that's what I'm doing. Especially if you want this to kind of sink down and kind of into the background. I am using a tortillon that had quite a bit. You can see how dark it is. He was using it quite a bit, and I should have probably wiped it off first. Or not wiped it off, but did like this. Where it's like, okay, let's see how much is left on there. Sometimes there's enough where you don't really have to, add. I usually do that if I have a small space, but I do want that. I want that to match. So. Oh, and that looks neat. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Sorry, I get excited with the shading because it's so magical. And it never gets old. I have been I've been certified since 2015, and been tangling since 2012. That's when my mom introduced it to me, and like, and that's why it's like it doesn't get old. It just it's like even more magical as time goes on, and we try different things, and how this shading just affects tangles. Oh, it's just so cool. Wait, I missed. Oh, there we go. Ha! How neat is that? Very cool. All right. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, would love to have you click the like button. Feel free to share it, leave comments, and if you liked it enough to see more, I'd love to have you be a subscriber to the channel. I greatly appreciate any and all of those activities, as they help the algorithm, so it gets my videos out in front of other people. So I appreciate any and all of those activities. Uh, I mentioned the description section, so you'll find the links to the step outs. Below that, I have a link to my website where you will find that I teach classes. I also have I have a number of lists on there. I'm going to end up combining them, at least so that way the current list of daily Tangle prompts is there. Right now we're doing Happy New Year Tangles. It's HNY Tangles, and so you'll see that list. And if you want to have a daily prompt, would love to have you subscribe to my blog because that's where I'm sending them out from. There, I also send out other notices that I'm working on, getting in the habit of, and in the class replay. So when I do, especially the free classes, I will send out the recap, and so that will have the replay videos as well as the screenshots from what happened in the class, and then I participants will or participants my Tangle family. That's how we address each other properly. Will either email me their work or I'll swipe it off of our Facebook group, and I'll post them there as well as links to this video, the whatever the Quickie video is, and to those replays. So would love to have you subscribe. That would be awesome. And let's see, I mentioned classes. I do teach almost twice weekly. I do 2 sessions each on the 2 days that I teach. A lot of them are free. I do have some that are paid, so I can keep myself in pens, keep the lights on, and then I have some other fun things that I keep thinking about, and I'm going to work to implement them. So that it helps there too. So if you'd like to support my efforts, would love to have you take a paid class or take a look at the membership club, because that's nice. I have one exclusive class that's just for members, and I should advertise it because it's really really fun. And you know what? Maybe I'll do a short on that. I think that's probably a good idea, just something to get the word out on that. So, but do take a look, and if you have any questions, of course you can connect with me. If you happen to be on Facebook, would love to have you take a look at our private Facebook group. I will let you know there are 2 required questions to gain entry into that group, just so that way you know. We would love to see what you do, and it's just such a beautiful community. So many really neat people on there, and we have people from all different levels of I would say art levels, but that's not right. Different levels of creativity, different levels of skill, and everyone has a different challenge too. And so it's just fun to really celebrate and stuff with each other. So with that, thanks so much for watching, and I wish you happy tangling.